Actually, when I first got out of high school, I was pursuing nursing because my mom is an RN. But it just didn't click with me. It just didn't get in my heart. And so I moved over to education. And when I think back, when I was growing up, I would always play school. You know, so I think that is one of the main reasons why I became a teacher, is because it was embedded in me.
She's awesome because she teaches me how to read.
Angela is a very giving person. She loves her students, just whatever she can do to help them master whatever they're working on. She gets to know them personally. She gets to know their parents, their families, so that she can do what's best for them and benefit them. She will go above and beyond for anybody.
My favorite part of my day is teaching and getting up, giving my direct instructions, and being able to see the students get excited because they have acquired a skill that I've been teaching them.
What stands out is the way that she really drives her students, and even though they may be students with a disability, she believes they can achieve just like any other student in the regular ed setting. She pushes them real hard, but she gives them that tough love, and the students reciprocate it back to her. So just seeing that rapport that she has built with her students and with her parents over the years, and then also seeing that parents come back to even compliment Ms. Hall today on the impact that she has made in their lives. It just means a lot to see that she's not only touching lives here in our school, but also outside in the community.
We do lots of reading and lots of learning, and then we do our times tables, and I just was hard the best teacher in the world.
So I pray for my students one by one, and I ask God to give me what I need to make sure that I make a difference in my students' life. What's been special about this year is last year I had an ordeal with COVID, and I was out for several months. And my biggest concern was my kids getting what they needed. So me being here this year, at the beginning of the year, being able to start out with them, and I'm still here by the grace of God, that's what's different. I'm here.
Okay, so I graduated from Georgia College State University with a degree in art marketing, and I immediately went back to school and got my master's in teaching. I decided right away that I wanted to do something with children.
As a person, she's nice, loving, she's very helpful, so you could be struggling and you could think that your artwork is ugly, and she'll just inspire you.
She's really caring, loving, and when you need help and you're struggling, she'll always help you.
So this is my 6th year working with Bryn. First year here at the IGA, 5 years in the county, worked together, and she is one that is second to none. What makes her a unique art teacher to me is the relationships she builds with kids. You know, it's all about the relationships. It's not about necessarily the art or the project going on. It's about the kid as a whole.
There's not one specific favorite part of my day. I love greeting the children as they come into each class. I love seeing and talking to them and seeing how their day's going, and getting their projects out and start working, and just getting to know each kid better, and every day just greeting them with a smile. That's my favorite part.
She is more than just an art teacher. She pours her whole heart and soul into this place. She's not only a good art teacher, she's a great artist as well, and she has a way of getting students to be able to produce amazing things.
Whenever she draws, it really inspires me to push myself to the limit whenever I draw.
She loves everyone she works with, and it's just, she doesn't mind helping out no matter what the need is. She works for her kids, the kids feel that love, the staff feels that love, and what's amazing is everything she touches, she improves.
She's always loving, caring, kind. She always helps people out when they need, and I just love her as a teacher and a person.
The biggest thing that keeps me wanting to come every day is just to see these kids and see their smiles on their faces and them happy to be here and ready to learn, and that's just what makes me come.
I always knew that I wanted to make a difference. I was eager to make a difference, so that's what led me to education. I actually went to school to be an English language arts educator, but the first job I took was in special education, and I loved it, so I've stuck it out. I've been in special education for 11 years now.
He's the nicest teacher, teaches me things, and helps me with my work.
Mr. O'Neill is very patient and loving. He has a love for his job. I've never worked with a teacher that I didn't hear raise their voice at some point, but he's never raised his voice. Every time I talk to him, he's very active in what's going on, and he's always eager to help.
Seeing the light bulbs go off when they start to understand things is like the most amazing thing. Just seeing those grasp those concepts and reaching their maximum potential.
One thing I noticed about Mr. O'Neill is that once the students graduate on and go to the 6th grade, he does not leave them when they go to 6th grade. He keeps that relationship with them. He tracks them to the next grade. And we have a running joke that says, dog, Mr. O'Neill, you have to go up to the next grade with your kids because all the students that he served just navigates towards him, gravitates to him, and wants to be around him all the time.
He's a really good teacher. He does ELA, and my favorite part of ELA is like reading and stuff. And every day, whenever I go in the classroom, I'm ready to learn.
There's more minds to cultivate. There's still more students coming in, want to cultivate those minds so they can go out into the community and do great things also. That keeps the fire burning.
When I was in school, PE was my favorite subject. I love sports and I love competition, so it's something I'm passionate about. So I enjoy teaching and I enjoy my job.
I like how she makes us want to work out and do more activity things.
She has a heart for what she does, and she has a heart for the students. So whatever she plans out for the students, it always comes together. The kids love her. That's one of their favorite classes that they like to go to.
For example, my running club, I've noticed that my students that struggle and my students that it comes easy to, the ones that it comes easy to, they start to have compassion and empathy on the ones that can't. So they oftentimes ask me, Coach, can I run with them? Can I help them?
Coach Jessup brings a lot of love, laughter, and just high energy and excitement. For me, as lead learner of Susie Dasher, it means that PE matters. I know a lot of times we spend a great bit of energy and effort on focusing on just the core academics, but it's also important not only for our students to be able to, get everything that they need academically, but their social health, their physical health, all of that goes into being well-rounded students, and she plays a major part in that. She really takes the time to focus on healthy living, a healthy lifestyle, what it means to run, to work out, because if we feel better when we're healthy, that's going to carry over into all the other parts of our life.
To me, to have a friend on my side that is not only a teacher, but someone who I can trust and someone who can understand me. She inspires me to lose weight, and when I get older, to be like her and run track and make a lot of girls, a lot of women and men in the world to become an athlete.
I really feel that relationship building with my students is a way that I connect with them. They know that I care about them, and then they'll start caring about themselves and they'll start caring about their school. And the biggest thing for me is these relationships, developing relationships with my students.
My third grade teacher, she was very special to me, so that encouraged me to go to be a third grade teacher. I taught third grade for 21 years and I retired, and that wasn't for me. So I decided to come to Moore Street and lend a helping hand, where we're a family here and we work to help each child to meet his or her goals.
Having Ms. Wilder as my teacher is really good because she helped me. She take her time with me and she makes sure everything I need, I got it. Favorite part of my day with Ms. Martin is probably just beginning of the morning, because we do science in the morning and such studies at the end of the class.
She'll take her science, what she has to teach, and then she tries to get the information that the students need and get it to them in a way that is relevant to them and is interesting to them, and it makes them want to actually do the lessons.
Like, if I need any help with anything, I can come to her. Like, with work, even without work, I can come to her anytime I need to. She really helps me out a lot.
Ms. Walden brings so much experience to the table. She still has that old school feel, but she's also willing to learn and incorporate some of the newer, innovative things that's coming down through education. She loves the kids hard. She runs a very tight ship. I absolutely love that about her. And she's just still excited. After all of these years, she's still excited about what she's doing in the classroom. Well, one thing, we're a family and we work close together. We're here to meet the children's needs, and I love working with these children. Some of them may have problems, but we're here to work with them.
The 9th grade academy, what we do is we try to get the students acclimated to high school and let them know how important it is to get off to a great start. Their 9th grade year, their future starts here.
She's different from the other teachers. She helped me with what I need help with. She always there beside my side, and she's a really nice teacher.
She's a very, very good person when it comes to the kids. She initiated a lot of conversations and get these kids to trust her. She build rapport with these kids and build a lot of nourishing type relationships with them, things that last.
In here with these kids, I teach more life lessons than I do subject-verb agreement inside this classroom, just to capture their attention, you know, as to why you should want to do well in school and it leads to a good life. We just come in here, connect with the kids. That's what I do. Get a relationship with the kids when they know that I care about them, and then they just do whatever it is that I ask them to do. They try to do it anyway.
When I was in 9th grade, she was my teacher, and I came from Dublin Middle School with 1, I think, on my milestone. And when I finished her class, I left out with a 3.
When I went in her room and first observed her with the kids, if I had a child, I would want my child in her class, because they're going to be taught what they need to be taught, but they're also going to get that motherly love too.
Maybe one day the students will look back and think back and remember me. Miss Connie Carter taught me this, and just how important education is.
Actually, when I first got out of high school, I was pursuing nursing because my mom is an RN. But it just didn't click with me. It just didn't get in my heart. And so I moved over to education. And when I think back, when I was growing up, I would always play school. So I think that is one of the main reasons why I became a teacher, because it was embedded in me.
She's awesome because she teaches me how to read.
Angela is a very giving person. She loves her students, just whatever she can do to help them master whatever they're working on. She gets to know them personally. She gets to know their parents, their families, so that she can do what's best for them and benefit them. She will go above and beyond for anybody.
My favorite part of my day is teaching and getting up, giving my direct instructions, and being able to see the students get excited because they have acquired a skill that I've been teaching them.
What stands out is the way that she really drives her students, and even though they may be students with a disability, she believes they can achieve just like any other student in the regular ed setting. She pushes them real hard, but she gives them that tough love, and the students reciprocate it back to her. So just seeing that rapport that she has built with her students and with her parents over the years, and then also seeing that parents come back to even compliment Ms. Hall today on the impact that she has made in their lives. It just means a lot to see that she's not only touching lives here in our school, but also outside in the community.
We do lots of reading and lots of learning, and then we do our times tables, and I just Ms. Hall the best teacher in the world.
So I pray for my students one by one, and I ask God to give me what I need to make sure that I make a difference in my students' life. What's been special about this year is last year I had an ordeal with COVID, and I was out for several months. And my biggest concern was my kids getting what they needed. So me being here this year, at the beginning of the year, being able to start out with them, and I'm still here by the grace of God, that's what's different. I'm here.
Okay, so I graduated from Georgia College State University with a degree in art marketing, and I immediately went back to school and got my master's in teaching. I decided right away that I wanted to do something with children.
As a person, she's nice, loving, she's very helpful. So you could be struggling and you could think that your artwork is ugly, and she'll just inspire you.
She's really caring, loving, and when you need help and you're struggling, she'll always help you.
So this is my 6th year working with Bryn. First year here at the IGA, 5 years in the county, worked together, and she is one that is second to none. What makes her a unique art teacher to me is the relationships she builds with kids. You know, it's all about the relationships. It's not about necessarily the art or the project going on. It's about the kid as a whole.
There's not one specific favorite part of my day. I love greeting the children as they come into each class. I love seeing and talking to them and seeing how their day's going, and getting their projects out and start working, and just getting to know each kid better, and every day just greeting them with a smile. That's my favorite part.
She is more than just an art teacher. She pours her whole heart and soul into this place. She's not only a good art teacher, she's a great artist as well. And she has a way of getting students to be able to produce amazing things.
Whenever she draws, it really inspires me to push myself to the limit whenever I draw.
She loves everyone she works with, and it's just, she doesn't mind helping out no matter what the need is. She works for her kids, the kids feel that love, the staff feels that love, and what's amazing is everything she touches, she improves.
She's always loving, caring, kind. She always helps people out when they need, and I just love her as a teacher and a person.
The biggest thing that keeps me wanting to come every day is just to see these kids and see their smiles on their faces and them happy to be here and ready to learn, and that's just what makes me come.
I always knew that I wanted to make a difference. I was eager to make a difference, so that's what led me to education. I actually went to school to be an English language arts educator, but the first job I took was in special education, and I loved it, so I've stuck it out. I've been in special education for 11 years now.
He's the nicest teacher, teaches me things, and helps me with my work.
Mr. O'Neill is very patient and loving. He has a love for his job. I've never worked with a teacher that I didn't hear raise their voice at some point, but he's never raised his voice. Every time I talk to him, he's very active in what's going on, and he's always eager to help.
Seeing the light bulbs go off when they start to understand things is like the most amazing thing. Just seeing those grasp those concepts and reaching their maximum potential.
One thing I noticed about Mr. O'Neill is that once the students graduate on and go to the 6th grade, he does not leave them when they go to 6th grade. He keeps that relationship with them. He tracks them to the next grade. And we have a running joke that says, "Dog, Mr. O'Neill, you have to go up to the next grade with your kids because all the students that he served just navigates towards him, gravitates to him, and wants to be around him all the time."
He's a really good teacher. He does ELA, and my favorite part of ELA is like reading and stuff. And every day, whenever I go in the classroom, I'm ready to learn.
There's more minds to cultivate. There's still more students coming in, want to cultivate those minds so they can go out into the community and do great things also. That keeps the fire burning.
When I was in school, PE was my favorite subject. I love sports and I love competition, so it's something I'm passionate about. So I enjoy teaching and I enjoy my job.
I like how she makes us want to work out and do more activity things.
She has a heart for what she does, and she has a heart for the students. So whatever she plans out for the students, it always comes together. The kids love her. That's one of their favorite classes that they like to go to.
For example, my running club, I've noticed that my students that struggle and my students that it comes easy to, the ones that it comes easy to, they start to have compassion and empathy on the ones that can't. So they oftentimes ask me, "Coach, can I run with them? Can I help them?"
Coach Jessup brings a lot of love, laughter, and just high energy and excitement. For me, as lead learner of Susie Vasher, it means that PE matters. I know a lot of times we spend a great bit of energy and effort on focusing on just the core academics, but it's also important not only for our students to be able to, get everything that they need academically, but their social health, their physical health, all of that goes into being well-rounded students, and she plays a major part in that. She really takes the time to focus on healthy living, a healthy lifestyle, what it means to run, to work out, because if we feel better when we're healthy, that's going to carry over into all the other parts of our life.
To me, to have a friend on my side that is not only a teacher, but someone who I can trust and someone who can understand me. She inspires me to lose weight, and when I get older, to be like her and run track and make a lot of girls, a lot of women and men in the world to become an athlete.
I really feel that relationship building with my students is a way that I connect with them. They know that I care about them, and then they'll start caring about themselves, and they'll start caring about their school. And the biggest thing for me is these relationships, developing relationships with my students.
My third grade teacher, she was very special to me, so that encouraged me to go to be a third grade teacher. I taught third grade for 21 years, and I retired, and that wasn't for me. So I decided to come to Moore Street and lend a helping hand, where we're a family here and we work to help each child to meet his or her goals.
Having Ms. Wilder as my teacher is really good because she helped me. She take her time with me and she made sure everything I need, I got it. Favorite part of my day with Ms. Martin is probably just beginning of the morning, because we do science in the morning and social studies at the end of the class.
She'll take her science, what she has to teach, and then she tries to get the information students need and get it to them in a way that is relevant to them and is interesting to them. And
A media day for our boys and girls basketball. We have teams from all over the region here today. We're going to be getting to talk with the coaches, the players, get a preview of what's coming up for this year, and also talk about the things in this region that's going to make it one of the more competitive regions in Class A. We're going to start off right now and switch over to our Bleckley County Lady Royals. We're joined by Coach John Stanley. Coach, go ahead and introduce our players, and we'll get to talking about the team.
Yes, we have T. Elvine and Chrissy Stanley, and I'm Coach Stanley.
All right, T and Chrissy, we're glad to have you guys here. And Coach Stanley, talk about last year. What was last year like for the Lady Royals as far as your record and some of the things that you saw growth-wise from the girls?
Okay, well, first of all, this is my first year here. Okay, I wasn't there last year, but one of you ladies can explore about what happened last year.
Last year our record was like 23-11.
What was the season like for you? How much fun did you have last year?
Last year I had a lot of fun. It was a great experience with the seniors that's going now. But last year we had a lot to work on, and hopefully this year we'll be able to work on those things that we needed to last year.
That's awesome. And so talk about the things you've been working on this year to try to build and try to grow to make sure that, you know, a 20-win season is nothing to laugh at. That's great. And how do you grow from that?
As a team, just like grow in leadership, communication, and like certain little small things that we should be doing that we didn't last year.
Now talk about leadership. Who are some of the team leaders? Who are and they don't have to necessarily be captains, because you guys know sometimes the players that you hear and listen to the most aren't necessarily the people going out to shake hands, but who are those players that you guys are looking to this year for leadership?
Me and Chrissy. Me and Chrissy. They definitely be looking forward to me and Chrissy to help them and tell them what we need to be doing, because like we're more experienced than the rest of them. So they're asking us, and we should be able to help them, tell them what they need to do and where they need to go.
And where you've transitioned into these new roles, what has it done for you as far as your growth personally?
Personally, it's helped me talk to people more, let them know like what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right. Encourage them, motivate them to do better.
That's awesome. And that's stuff that you guys are going to be able to take with you when you get out of school. And so while we're on that subject, what are some things you two are looking to do when you get out of school?
I'm looking to go to college and major in education to become an English teacher.
Wow.
I'm looking to go to college to major in surgery.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so if we're going to be surgical with this season, what are some of the games that you guys are looking at on the schedule, besides obviously the people you'll be playing this year, that, hey, we need to be bringing our A game whenever we step on the court?
Some of the teams?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
We look at everybody.
We don't underestimate nobody.
Yeah.
Now, Coach Stanley, shifting to you for a second, you said this is your first year here with the Lady Royals. Talk about your pedigree, where you were previously, and some of the background that you have that you're bringing into the program.
Previously, I was at West Lawrence High School, girls head coach there, and before that, I was actually at Bleckley. Okay. I was at West Lawrence for 3 years. Yes, and as far as some of the stuff that I'm going to bring to them is that tenacity of never giving up and that grind to continue to work forward, to grow as an organization.
Now, talk about overall, what got you into the coaching profession?
Several friends, and just the knack to get the most out of individuals. Yes, I have that knack to inspire kids, and I wanted to use it in the sports field.
Now, T and Chrissy, how has he inspired y'all this year so far?
He's inspired us a lot to just work hard and be capable of doing what we know we can do and don't lack hope.
And what's the ultimate goal for you guys? What are the goals? Because I know I look at all these teams, you guys will have something in the locker room that says, I want X, Y, and Z to happen. What are those goals that you've set for yourselves personally and collectively as a team?
Our goals as a team is just to work and do better every day. And my personal goal is to be first team region.
My personal goal is to just be better, just get better at things.
That's awesome. And that's what we want from you guys, is just to be your best every day. And I know the folks in Cochran are always proud of what happens on the field and in the classroom. You guys are always bringing it. Talk about, from an academic standpoint, what are some of the things that you're bringing to the table academically this year? What's your favorite subject?
Environmental science.
Very cool. What makes it your favorite subject?
Because you're talking about like a lot of natural stuff. Like you're not just on one thing all the time. You're talking about multiple occasions and multiple things that the earth has brought.
And what about for you?
For me, my favorite subject is literature. Because I want to major in literature. I just like writing essays and stuff and basically writing about things that I like to do.
And so obviously the writing process, there's probably something that you see in basketball now the longer you've been in it. What are the similarities between writing an essay and preparing for a big region game?
Writing an essay and comparing for a region game is like the same thing, because you have to talk about, like, preparing for someone in region and essay, you have to talk about the things that you have to look forward to and what you don't have to look forward to, and like who you need to be more worried about and concerned about than the other person.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we're really excited for you, and like I'm going to tell every team here today, we're going to be pulling for you all year long, except for those couple of times that we face off with each other. So I want to wish you the best, because I love seeing, you know, as somebody who covered sports for years, I love seeing that competition and I love seeing that friendly rivalry. So I look forward to you guys coming to the Rock and for us getting to go to Cochran. Those are always fun times. But I want to thank Coach Stanley, Chrissy and T, for you guys coming out. When we come back, we're going to be with our Lady Irish and Coach Jefferson right here on the Region 2A show.
Thank you.
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, I'm wood burning a half and half face. One is sad, one is happy. Well, first, you have to draw out, sketch what you wanted to draw. And I mean, I think I had like 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, and then you draw it on the wood, and then you learn how to use the wood burning tool. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, you know, working. It's more fun than, you know, traditional work. My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, I'm wood burning a half and half face. One is sad, one is happy. Well, first, you have to draw out.
All right, guys, we're back for our Region 2A Media Day. We've got boys and girls basketball teams from our region teams. It's super awesome. This type of stuff does not happen, not with these smaller schools. So it's so exciting for us to get the opportunity to get to share all of the expectations for the upcoming season. And next, we're going to be shifting over to our own Lady Irish, joined by Coach Evan Jefferson. And we've got Nahaley Turnley and we've got Caitlin Nesbitt here joining us for the team. And first off, guys, we've had some success the last couple of years, but Coach, you go ahead and tell us about this past season and some of the things that you were able to accomplish that made you excited about leading into this year.
Last season we made it to the Elite 8. It's the first time in a really long time. Made it to the region championship game for the second year. Got a lot of returning kids from that team, so we have a lot of experience and still inexperience at the same time. But they work hard. They do a good job of following directions for the most part, and they're all, you know, still figuring things out. But I think we'll get the ball rolling about mid-season. We'll have our roles down and we'll be full running.
Well, obviously you guys lost some big pieces last year, and probably number one was Terriana Wilburn. You know, you had that big presence in the middle, and when she chose to dominate, it was almost impossible to stop. How do you fill that void, and who's going to be taking on that role this year?
We got 2 bodies coming back, Madeline Rayner and Jemiah Reese. Jemiah has been with the program for she's been with us for the last 2 years, so this is her 3rd year. She's really starting to figure things out. Madeline joined the team last year, and just this off season alone, she's really improved in the summer and in the fall. So she's going to be a big presence. A lot of people didn't really get to see her this past year, but they're going to see a lot of her this year. Very big and very strong, very physical now. We finally got that mean streak out of her, so she's going to deliver it this year.
Well, and I'll tell you, she filled some minutes for you guys in the season that people didn't notice. You know, times where you had to give Terriana a breather. She could go in there and bang around for a little bit, maybe save some fouls. So I know that meant a lot to you. But we've got some good returning people coming back as well, some people that were all region. And I know that has to have you excited. 2 of those sitting there right beside us. But I want to talk to you guys first. You know, Caitlin, coming into this season, you know, last year you were a little banged up for a good part of the year. I saw your leg was giving you grief. How do you feel now?
Nothing's really been hurting now.
That's good. That's good. That's exciting. And not to mention all that you accomplished on the softball field this year. I know you're almost to 300 strikeouts in 2 years, which is just nuts. And now to Haley, you took on a leadership role last year. It was very obvious. What put you in that position to want to be a leader and to grab? I mean, because you took a hold of it. Talk about that for a minute.
I wanted to be a leader because that's what my teammates needed, and also that I knew that a lot of the people that we played with last year were leaving. So I already was trying to prepare myself for being into the leadership role because I knew this year I was going to really have to be a leader, and also just I wanted to back up like the leaders that we had last year, knowing that they have help and everything wasn't just on the senior shoulders, that everybody on the team was taking accountability as far as leadership.
I love that, and that kind of leads into my next question about this season. While you're an understood leader for the team, how have you been growing leadership in some of these other kids and getting them ready to take on that mantle as well?
It's been really good. I've been trying to get people on board, especially because we have a big junior class, so I'm trying to get everybody on board as far as leadership and knowing that, you know, it doesn't have to just be a designated leader. Some days I can lead and some days you can lead. It's just whoever we need at that moment, whoever can step up at that moment, that's pretty much it.
Now, you guys kind of surprised some people last year. I know you didn't surprise y'all because y'all came in ready to go and compete, but making something like the Elite Eight and really having a good fighter's chance to make the Final Four, how do you build upon that so that you don't rest on your laurels?
I think we can build on that as far as just keeping what we did last year, just building off of that, because I know we're not a big offensive team, we're a very big defense team, so instilling in our I try to instill in our players and my teammates that this is how we win games and this is our identity, this is what we need to do to win. So not only just doing what we did last year, but just taking it up a notch because we lost so much. So now we have to do it 10 times harder than we did last year.
How do you like hearing stuff like that, Coach?
It's music to my ears. It's music to my
I'm sure
ears.
these other coaches too are hearing it like that. That's it. That's what we want to hear.
It's a lot of growth, and I'll tell you that.
For you ladies, you guys are both a pair of well-rounded young ladies. You're not just competing in athletics. Talk about some of the other things interest-wise that drive you and motivate you, and you take that same passion and apply it to.
I just want to be a good student athlete and like a role model to others and for people to look up to me.
Yeah, and I just want to be a good example for not only my teammates but just people around me, because if I want to be a leader, I have to lead in the classroom and lead not only on the court but off the court, even when I'm not in school. I just want to be known as just a good overall person.
And you are, because you're even a good person at Kroger when I see you. You do it. She's always smiling. You know, I love it. It makes me happy. You know, I come in there and she'll be working there at the self-checkout, and she's always, "Hey, Mr. Jason," saying hi, and it means a lot to me because, you know, we want to be world-class and globally competitive with everything we do. But, Coach, as you look into this year, who are, besides these two ladies, obviously, who are some of the other kids that we need to be looking out for that could be making a difference for the Lady Irish?
Well, like she mentioned, we have a really big junior class, so some people that you need to look forward to seeing play and really make a name for themselves this year. Tahar Diallo, she really took a big jump this summer. Jordan Wright, Jordan's been with me. She actually came in with Haley, very skilled player. Ariana Fuller, she was first team all-region her freshman year. She hit a lot of big shots for us these past 2 years, especially in the Sweet 16. She hit a big 3.
Oh, yes, she did.
To help us advance to the Elite 8. Like I mentioned earlier, Jemiah Reese, Madeline Rayner. Am I missing anybody? Eminem, McKinley Lanier. Very physical, plays hard. She's going to be a big help for us this year. She got injured towards the end of the season, but she's back healthy now, so she's going to be a big piece of our success.
And I talked about you guys being well-rounded. What are you planning to do after high school?
Me personally, I want to go on a full ride basketball scholarship, but I want to major in either real estate or sports medicine.
And what about you, ma'am?
I want to go to a D1 school and play softball, and I want my major to be in business.
Oh, wow, business. Both of y'all are going to be making a lot of money. I might need to come talk to you guys. And so, Coach, what does it mean to you to have these kind of caliber of kids on your team? I know that has to help so much when you're trying to prep because the buy-in's already there typically.
It's great, they're a positive influence on the other kids on the team, and it makes my job a lot easier when you have, an Haley Turnley on your team who takes on the initiative, and she already knows what I expect, and she tries to reiterate everything to her teammates. Same thing with Caitlin. These two are great student athletes. They do everything right. They're just what you want on your team. Good grades, play hard, work hard, and everything they do, hate to lose, very competitive. So they take that same mentality from their coach.
That's awesome. Well, Lady Irish, we're looking for great things from you guys. I know the effort's going to be there. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And when we come back, we'll be joined with Coach Danielle Lothar and the East Lawrence Lady Falcons right here on Region 2A Media Day.
Yo, Malcolm, here in Dublin City Schools, we want to be world-class and global competitive, and I know you've been from about Ulster, where it's really important down there at athletics, and you've been a bulldog.
That's right.
You've been with the Patriots.
That's right.
And we know that the arts are important, the Air Force ROTC and our athletics, but what else do our young people need to do and know to be world-class and globally competitive?
That's a great question. And I know a little bit about being a champion on the field, but I learned something else. Being a champion in the classroom matters too. Now, I've had the luxury to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself.
What is that?
Read books.
Awesome, awesome.
I learned that reading can take you anywhere you want to go. So go out there, play hard on that field, but also play hard in the classroom, and always go Irish.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Region 2A Media Day. We've already seen stuff from our Bleckley County and our Dublin Lady Irish teams, but we're going to shift gears now across the river to Coach Danielle Lothar and the East Lawrence Lady Falcons. Coach, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. You guys are pretty much like family because we've got a lot of Dublin East ties. There's so many people that are intertwined, so it's always awesome to have you guys come and just let you give a chance to introduce yourself and your players.
I'm Coach Danielle Lothar, coach of East Lawrence. This is Jayla Gibbons, sophomore at East Lawrence, and then Alexis A.J. Reed, senior guard at East Lawrence.
Well, Coach, you guys always bring tons of energy and effort. That's something that I've noticed out of East Lawrence pretty much in the 20-plus years that I've been able to cover East Lawrence basketball in whatever fashion. And obviously you've been here recently. Talk about what you've seen out of the program and what you're hoping to accomplish this year.
We're still going to bring the energy and the effort. We got some girls that played last year. They got that experience in. So we, like I said, we're going to continue to bring the energy and effort, and we're going to bring that winning mentality. We didn't quite do it last year, but we're going to bring it this year.
Now, for you young ladies, you guys are looking at trying to build up this year. What are the things that you've been doing personally and doing collectively as a team to try to grow the Lady Falcons and be productive and successful?
Me working personally, over the summer, wouldn't leave the gym unless I put up 500 shots, 500 makes. So that's one thing I'm really working on is my shot consistency. And then as a team, we're big on communication this year in Hudson.
And what about for you?
I did open gym, I did AAU for the summer, and that's just, like she said, communication. We trying that.
I love the communication piece. Talk about what you've seen so far this year that has you excited, and that could be for all three of you guys.
We're putting in, like they said, we're in the gym constantly on Saturdays, on Sundays. They're putting in shots. They're working on. We're doing individual workouts on Saturdays. We're putting up shots on Sunday, and they're playing or they play AAU basketball year round. They're excited. We're excited about this season because we have a lot of girls that, like I said, that was in the gym on Saturdays, that was in the gym on Sundays, putting in their work and then putting in that extra work. And just taking on that hard work mentality that we try to bring over there to the east side of, you know, if you want it, you got to go get it, and nobody's going to sit here and let you take it from them. So that type mentality is what we're bringing and what they're taking on this year.
I love that. And so talk for a minute about, you know, in this classification, typically kids are multifaceted. They're not just getting to go in the gym. Some of them are on the softball team, some of them are cross country. I know you guys probably are multi-sport people. How do you make all that fit? Because there's only so many hours in the day. How do you guys fit AAU with some of the other things that you're doing?
Well, me personally, I don't have a big schedule. I only have one class at the high school, so in the morning I go to the gym. After school I have basketball, and then depending on if we have later early, depends on how I set my schedule like that.
Well, that's pretty
Back when we played softball, when we played softball, I went to, I don't know.
It's fine.
And plus, I coach two sports
That's
too.
what I was gonna say.
And they, you know, AJ plays or Alexis plays soccer as well, and Jayla is cheerleading and soccer and every sport for the most part. But having those sports, no excuse for not getting into work. So we try to figure out a way where not only were they working at softball and basketball, they're working at the soccer and everything else. But it's no excuse for not working. I don't care how many sports you play. And that's the mentality that we're bringing, or they're bringing, we're bringing. We're still in them, and they're being able to implement.
Now, let's talk about outside of the gym and talk about in the classroom and in life. What are some of the things that you guys are hoping to accomplish this year academically, and then things that you're planning to do after school?
Well, in April, I'm going to be finishing up my associate's degree in general studies.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so after that, I want to go to college. I want to go to an HBCU and major in finance after that.
That's fantastic. And what about for you, Jayla?
I want to exempt all my classes, and I want to go to school. I want a full ride D1 to go to a D1 school to do softball, and I want to major in sports medicine.
Oh man, another good one. You're in one of those jobs that I hope I never need you for, because that means I broke something. That's always my goal. I always tell our trainers, I'm like, I hope you guys have the most boring job tonight, because I hope nobody gets hurt. Well, Coach, what does it mean to you to have these high character people? Because they're telling me that they've got clear plans and clear lines of sight, and I know that probably translates onto the court as well. What does that mean to you?
You know, it feels good. I mean, because not only is it laying on the basketball court, but just them being able to do it after a sport, meaning in life, after high school. But just getting in the gym and them working hard and them leading the team and them being talking and communicating, you know, that's good in itself. We're just different from last year, and these two are some of the reasons why we're different, and including some others. But these are two of the ones that's gonna show some things that's on the court this year, and they're leading in the classroom, they're leading on the court, and we definitely know that whenever life after basketball, they're gonna be leading too.
Now, Alexis, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how'd you get AJ? Is that just a nickname, or is that a combination of your middle and your first name? I like that.
Combination of my first name. I'm named after my grandmother, so it's Alexis Judy.
That's beautiful. Yes, we get a shout out to your grandma. That's awesome. Well, I feel bad because I didn't ask either of these other teams. You know, at media days, they always ask silly questions. And so I haven't done that, so they got off the hook, but you don't. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Uh-huh.
I like burgers, I guess.
I'm right there with you. What about you, Jayla?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti? That probably explains why my waistline gets so big, because those are both favorites for me. I think everything's a favorite. And so what's the number one thing, and we'll close out with this for you guys, what's the number one thing that you feel like you need to do this year to ensure that East Lawrence Lady Falcon basketball is successful?
Me personally, I need to shoot the ball more.
I need to get on the boards more.
What about for you, Coach Lester?
We need to bring the energy at practice, in the games. We have a talented group of girls this year, and some more coming next year. We just need to bring that energy. We need to bring that excitement. We need to bring that work ethic. We need to bring that mentality, and we're gonna be all right.
That's awesome. Well, I want to wish you guys all the best of luck, like I said, except for whenever you're facing the green and gold. We love you guys. As our superintendent says, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I want to thank the Lady Falcons for joining us. When we come back, we'll be with the Lady Warriors here on the Region 2A Media Day.
Hi,
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion.
The world.
And my current project is wood
I
burning,
have planets back there.
a half and half face, one is sad.
This goes with
well, first,
my
you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw. And I mean, I think I had 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, then you draw it on the wood, then you learn how to use the wood burning tools. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, working. It's more fun than, traditional work.
Hi, my name is Treasure Guyton. Well, my theme is Other World, and I have planets back.
Welcome back to Region 2A Media Day right here at the Dublin High School Auditorium. We want to thank all of our teams for taking the time out of their day to come travel here to be part of this. I don't want to necessarily call it a historic thing, but it's a really big deal because these are the types of events that you see on ESPN. This isn't necessarily something that you get to watch here at a Class A high school. So thank you to all the folks at Dublin High School for making this a possibility, and thank you to the teams for coming in. We're going to shift over now to Jefferson County. Coach Jackie Young and her ladies want to thank you guys from driving all the way from Jefferson County to come here. You're looking really sharp in your gear, but go ahead and introduce your players and yourself and give us an overview of how last year went.
Okay, I'm Coach Jackie Young from Jefferson County High School. I have Amari Lambry, who's a senior, and Destiny Witcher, who is also a senior.
Wonderful. Now talk about last year and what you saw that has you excited for this year.
Okay, as a new coach coming into a school where the girls are already used to one particular coach, and when you're coming in trying to get them to trust the process, and you kind of like drilling in every day, trust the process. And it was something that when we got there, it was like a struggle because they were used to being coached one way and then me coming in another way trying to show them something else. And I don't think it was until near the end of the season when they started to buy in and trust in the process.
Now, Amari and Destiny, talk about that for a second. When you've gotten used to doing things a certain way and then you have to do them a different way, when it finally all came together, what did that feel like?
It felt like we finally doing it, we finally getting it, we finally adapting to the new environment that she has brought to the team.
That's awesome. What about you, Destiny?
When we became a team, we started doing stuff together, and not just like one over here, one over there. We started coming together as a team.
I know from my experiences on teams, when you have that cohesiveness, it's just hard to beat. You just feel good, and when you trust the other person, I know that has to make you guys excited coming into this year. What has it been like at practice for you guys now that you've got that cohesiveness?
I mean, well, we have had a lot of younger girls, and so having a lot of younger girls, we have to like lead them and teach them what to do, and then that's when we all like come together when they have everything that they have.
And Coach Young, talk about what it means to have these young ladies. I can already tell through the interview process, they're ready to step up. What has that been like for you?
I'm really excited about this year. I have 5 returning seniors.
We'll talk to Coach Farmer in a little while. Don't mind that, y'all.
I have 5 returning seniors, and at Jefferson County, we're spread kind of thin between basketball, cheerleader band, flag football, one-act play, so we're kind of getting it in. I was able to squeeze these 2. My other seniors are getting ready to go down to play flag football today. So once we're all together in the gym, I kind of like, in the beginning, let them kind of get together, talk about what they need to do and why they're doing what they're doing, And then as my coaches and I step in, practice is a whole lot smoother than it was last year.
I'll tell you, you just defined what Class A extracurriculars are all about. Our kids are participating in a variety of things because we need them to. They're our top flyers, and unlike some other larger schools, you might need to be. But the good thing is they're learning all these skills that they're going to get to carry on with them when they get out of school. And so for you guys, talk about what it's like being part of more than just one thing and trying to be excellent in all of it.
I mean, being part of more than one sport and actually clubs that you are attending at school, it keeps you like active, keeps you out of trouble, it keeps you like, it just keeps you going.
And then from one sport to another, you can bring something from another sport to another sport.
That's awesome. You guys are, I want to thank all the young ladies so far. You guys have been so well spoken. It's awesome. I love everybody getting to see you guys for more than just what you're going to be bringing on the court. Now, Amari and Destiny, talk about beyond basketball. What's happening for you beyond basketball? Because you got all these seniors. Next year's going to be a different environment. What are you doing to set up for that next environment?
So now it's like we got to work on scholarships. So now I got to do a ton of essays, try to get a full ride to my college. So I got to do that. Then I got to go to basketball practice.
What about for you, Destiny?
Well, on Mondays and Wednesdays, I take college classes, where you just like write papers. You'll read, then write papers. And then after that, I have practice, basketball. Last week, I just got done with cross country.
Wow. So Coach Young, you see these high character young ladies doing all these different things and then still expecting them to bring what they need to bring on the basketball court. What does that mean to you, not just as a coach, but as a person, to see these young people who are committing all this time and still trying to be great at everything that they do?
I'm actually excited for them because I get a chance to see them grow and develop in other areas in high school. And it's just, I don't want to cry, but it just makes me emotional when I get all the good reports about what they're doing in school, their averages, because I always stress to them they're student athletes first. And it is any given day I can pop up in their classroom. I could either be sitting in there or standing at the back of the door. So I'm a great advocate to student athlete first. And if they're not the student, they're not going to be the athlete for me.
By your smiles and your head shaking up and down, I'm assuming you're agreeing that everything she said was true.
Yes, Lord.
But what does it mean to you guys to have an adult in the building like that you know is there for you and is there for you good, bad, or indifferent?
It feels good. It's like she's another mother. Yeah, it feels like if you having say if you having a bad day, you're not in the mood, you don't want to talk to nobody, you can just go. I can just go to Coach Jackie and just like sit in her office. Or either just talk about her, anything I want.
That's fantastic. And so, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to major in child health service or go to school for a pediatrician.
Amari?
I want to go to school for a real estate agent, and I want to do nursing.
Wow, so you're going to be, so you know how to multitask already. You're just going to apply it in different areas. I like that. And Coach Young, what do you think is going to be the number one thing that the Lady Warriors need to do this year to have a successful season?
To continue to trust the process. It doesn't stop from last year. We want to continue trusting the process.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we want to thank the Lady Warriors for showing up today for Region 2A Media Day. And when we come back, we're going to have the Lady Tigers from Swainsboro right here at Dublin High School.
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, I'm wood burning a half and half face. One is sad, one is happy. Well, first, you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw. And I think I had like 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, and then you draw it on the wood, and then you learn how to use the wood burning tools. And once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, working. It's more fun than, traditional work.
Welcome back to Region 2A Media Day. We're here with the ladies first. You know, it's always ladies first. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. We've had the ladies out here today talking about the season. And so far, we've had Bleckley County, we've had Dublin, East Lawrence, and Jefferson County. And now we're going to shift over to the Swainsboro Lady Tigers with Coach Alexandria Walden. Coach, what is it like for you to get the opportunity to coach ladies on the basketball court every day?
Oh, the opportunity is great. First, as a foremost, as a coach, as a female, I want to instill into my girls how to be independent, respectful females once they leave my program. So it's not just athletes out there. It's not just talent. I'm trying to give them more that they need to be ready for life. So, I mean, I'm with my girls every step of the way, and I like to commend myself and my players by just, being all around athletes, all around student athletes.
You had several people, I think, that were ready to put a hand up and the offering plate go by because they're saying amen, because that's what we want to hear, you know, because we want it to be about more than just the experience on the court. Now, talk about last year's experience on the court for you guys and introduce these two lovely young ladies to us.
First, let me introduce you to my team, some of my girls. This is my senior, Sarah Kelly. This is my junior, Jaden Wynn. Last year overall, we was 20-3. For the region, we was 11-1, region champions. We had a tough season. I can just say we went through a lot at the beginning, but my girls were so hungry because we was in flag football season last year, so we was a little delayed, unlike everybody else. They're in the gym, they're practicing, they're doing that. We were still playing flag football, but when it was time for us to hit the court, we gave it all we had, and they know that I preach defense first. We are a defense-led team no matter what. Defense wins championships games. Everything else follows off of that, offense and everything. So I feel like overall, my team was able to gather whatever setbacks we had, put it on the court. I tell them all the time, whatever you're going through, if it ain't got nothing to do with basketball, leave it on the outside. But if it's still bothering you, I need for you to play. I need for you to take it out there on that court, and you go and dunk, you go and cross over, you go and you block, you do whatever you got to do to let all that energy that does not belong out on the court. Take it on your opponent. So overall, I think my team, we are growing, we are maturing, we're ready, we're hungry.
Oh, that's fantastic, and I want to tell you that your dribbling miming made me think of Allen Iverson, which might be hitting a little old right now.
Right.
You know, everybody wants to talk about Steph, but you know, Allen Iverson, he's one of the best I've ever seen do that. Well, ladies, talk about from your lens what last year was like.
Last year it was pretty tough starting off. But as we got further on in the season, it started to come together as a team, and we started playing for each other and for our coaches.
And yeah, it was a lot of outside situations and drama affecting our team at the beginning, but throughout the season we kind of let it go and was like, we need to focus on ourselves and none of the outside drama.
Well, you obviously focused pretty well if you end up region champions with only one region loss. Talk about how you build upon that, because I know anytime that you have success, the expectations can change, but you also have to know that the effort has to change. How have you guys adjusted accordingly to hopefully be successful beyond what you accomplished last year?
Our energy and stuff come from our defense. Like, our defense really sets the tone for us. Like, we have a good practice, we be hype, we be like, you ready? Yeah. Like, we be just ready to go from defense. Our defense makes our offense, so we kind of feed off that.
I'm hearing defense a lot across some of these teams, but there's also several scorers I see around here. We don't want you to give away your game plan yet. You can give it to Coach Jefferson now. I've got to be biased in that regard, but how do you talk defense and then translate it into defense?
Accountability first. Accountability at practice. My thing is you lead by example. So you got to drive. You got to be on them, and we're on them on and off the court. So I say, if they don't get it done right, then that's on us. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the older ones. The younger girls are looking up to them. So as coaches, it starts with us too. Like they tell you defense starts, they going off of that, but it got to be off your coach's vibe too. we lead these girls to do what we need them to do. And if your coach vibe is not right, and you as a coach is mentally not there for your kids, then guess what? You dropping the ball. They're gonna drop the ball for the younger kids. So I mean, it's a full circle going on right now with coaches and players, and we a family. Accountability, determination, hard work. You know, we preach that first.
How do you guys take that hard work mindset and apply it in different areas of your lives, whether it be in school or if you know, some of our kids here are working jobs whenever they get off from basketball. How do you apply that same work ethic everywhere?
Well, we apply it to like community service, year-round athletes, and we just take that hard work and put it in our everyday life to keep going forward.
And how do you challenge the people around you? You know, you talked about having a bunch of kids involved and being successful and coming together as a team, but how do you get your teammates to get the best out of themselves sometimes when maybe they're not hearing it from the coach?
I continue to push them. Just give what the coach give me and give it to them.
Yeah, like if we see our teammate doing bad, we go to them, hey man, what you doing? Get right for the team. Like, we have to motivate them if they not doing good so they can continue to do good or start doing good. Like, we motivate each other. Like,
Coach, I imagine that has to make things a little bit easier for you when you've got some built-in assistant coaches. Talk about how you do that in a way to where they don't unintentionally overstep, because I know sometimes when you've got kids coming in trying to be helpful, I know at my house, you know, my kids want to be helpful sometimes, but how do you balance that?
First is knowing your role. Secondly is, like Coach Jackie said, trusting the process. So when you got freshmen coming in, and these been with me, these are seniors and juniors, they had to look at the other seniors and juniors to see how we operate. You got to see, oh, this is an organized program. And like you say, sometimes we got people that like to overstep. In our role, I got coaches that know their role. You got coaches that know their other role. You got, we call it mama and daddy sometimes. You got a mama and you got a daddy. That means you got a good cop, bad cop. But when Coach A is mama and daddy at the same time, you got on your hands. So we make it work. I mean, it started in the summer. I can tell you that. It does not happen in one season. It starts during the summer, and then we continue. And then it starts with community service, because we do that. I commend my girls on just getting out, giving back. So if you're giving back, doing other things, now you're starting to understand your worth. Now you understand what is hard work. Oh, I'm being able to play basketball, play flag football, run cross country, run track, do softball, go to school, being honest, go to dual enrollment, and do community service. Oh, if I can do it in high school, I've been trained to do it in high school. Well, guess what? It comes second nature when I'm in real life. So, I mean, we're all one family. It starts with the coaches, then our players, and it's kind of just synchronized together. But they know we hold them up here, because you got not just your teammates looking at you, your community is looking at you. Your school is looking at you. When we sit up here, we're not representing Sarah Kelly and Jaden Wynn. We're representing our community, our school, then ourselves, then our family. And I want my girls to take pride in that. You know, we take pride in coaching. We take pride in what we give them and what we instill in them. So all of that is what, you know, help builds on making that transition kind of easy by the time they're seniors and juniors.
Now, see, you were worried writing down questions, and see how well you answered that. So that just proves, like, I don't want to misplace your preparation, because that was awesome. But you got me pumped up, ready to go take the court or go do something. I was getting excited. But I want to get excited for what's happening for you guys after high school. What are your plans? Because, like she just said, you're trying to line everything up so that you're not just a quality basketball player, but you're a quality person. What kind of quality person are you going to be when you step out, and what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a professional athletic trainer for any professional sports team, whether it's football, basketball, softball, anything. Yeah, I want to go to school for physical therapy. And
sky's the limit, right?
Yep.
What about you, Sarah?
I want to first go to college, play basketball, get a scholarship for it, and major in IT.
Oh, wow. That'd be awesome. Trust me, there are plenty of jobs with IT. And what does it mean to you to have a coach who wants to be there for you and also challenge you, because sometimes, you know, we can all have a bad day or things aren't going like we want them to, but to have somebody that's willing to be there for you and sometimes give that tough love that you need so that when you get into the real world, you can handle the situation.
We can't do nothing but appreciate it, because a lot of people in this world or around here don't really have that person in their life. So all we can do is just appreciate it and love her like she loves us.
All right, don't start crying, Coach. I see you.
The best coach you could like ever ask for, because she's there in so many ways that you could ever imagine.
That's fantastic. I think that's a good way to cap it. And hopefully you can get with Coach in a second. We got to get your phone back right, because Coach Palmer needs to hear from you. You've got the most bedazzled phone of all time, by the way. We want to thank Coach Walden, and we want to thank Sarah and Jaden for joining us. And we're going to take a little longer break here for a second as we get the boys up on the stage. We want to thank the girls. Make sure you guys are liking and commenting on these things. These young players have spoken so well, not just of their programs, but of their lives. When we come back, we're going to have the Bleckley County boys here on the Region 2A Media Day show.
Yo, Malcolm, here in Dublin City Schools, we want to be world-class and global competitive, and I know you've been from about Ulster, where it's really important down there at athletics, and you've been a bulldog.
That's right.
You've been with the Patriots.
That's right.
And we know that the arts are important, the Air Force ROTC and our athletics, but what else do our young people need to do and know to be world-class and globally competitive?
That's a great question. And I know a little bit about being a champion on the field, but I learned something else. Being a champion in the classroom matters too. Now, I've had the luxury to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself.
What is that?
Read books.
Awesome, awesome.
I learned that reading can take you anywhere you want to go. So go out there, play hard on that field, but also play hard in the classroom, and always go Irish.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Yo, Malcolm, here in Dublin City Schools, we want to be world-class and global competitive, and I know you've been from about Ulster, where it's really important down there at athletics, and you've been a bulldog.
That's right.
You've been with the Patriots.
That's right.
And we know that the arts are important, the Air Force ROTC and our athletics, but what else do our young people need to do and know to be world-class and globally competitive?
That's a great question. And I know a little bit about being a champion on the field, but I learned something else. Being a champion in the classroom matters too. Now, I've had the luxury to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself.
What is that?
Read books.
Awesome, awesome.
I learned that reading can take you anywhere you want to go. So go out there, play hard on that field, but also play hard in the classroom, and always go Irish.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Today? Not today. We'll have pictures.
Yo, Malcolm, here in Dublin City Schools, we want to be world-class and global competitive, and I know you've been from about Ulster, where it's really important down there at athletics, and you've been a bulldog.
That's right.
You've been with the Patriots.
That's right.
And we know that the arts are important, the Air Force ROTC and our athletics, but what else do our young people need to do and know to be world-class and globally competitive?
That's a great question. And I know a little bit about being a champion on the field, but I learned something else. Being a champion in the classroom matters too. Now, I've had the luxury to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself.
What is that?
Read books.
Awesome, awesome.
I learned that reading can take you anywhere you want to go. So go out there, play hard on that field, but also play hard in the classroom, and always go Irish.
Let's go!
Let's go!
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, wood burning, a half and half face. When it's sad.
This goes with
well, first,
my
you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw. And I mean, I think I had 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, then you draw it on the wood, then you learn how to use the wood burning tool. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, working. It's more fun than, traditional work.
Hi, my name is Treasure Guyton. Well, my theme is Other World, and I have planets back there in the back, and this goes with my planet, one of my planets, and this is going to be a tree.
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion.
Other World to me is
and
just
my current project,
expressing
wood burning,
a
half and half face.
What I can do and make of.
Well, first you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw, and I think I had like 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, then you draw it on the wood, and then you learn how to use the wood burning tool. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art
I have
as,
planets back there in
working.
the back, and
It's more
this
fun
goes with my planet, one of my
work.
planets, and this is going to be a tree. And Other World to me is just expressing in other colors what I can do and make of.
Welcome back to Region 2A Media Day. I'm your host, Jason Holcomb with Dublin City Schools, and right now we're going to be shifting gears to the boys. The ladies did a fantastic job answering the questions, not only about the season, but also what they're planning to do after school, which is the most important part of it all. We're going to shift right now over to Bleckley County. Coach Garrett Collins has brought a couple of his fine young men here to the table. And Coach, I want you to go ahead and introduce both of these 2 young men, and let's talk about last year.
All right, here right beside me, I've got sophomore shooting guard Cameron Everett and junior shooting guard defensive specialist Iverson Baker. As far as last year is concerned, it was a learning experience for a lot of our guys. We wound up finishing 7 and 18. Didn't have the greatest leadership. We had a lot of young guys, a lot of immaturity on the team as far as not a lot of experience. We played mostly freshmen and sophomores last year. Now, the good thing is that we only lost 2 seniors. We've only got 1 senior this year, so we're still young, but those sophomores have kind of hit a little growth spurt, and got a lot of talent coming back. They've grown up a little bit physically, mentally, and I'm excited. We're still playing football right now. Both of these guys are still playing football right now. So once we all get back together, whenever that may be in the near future, excited to get to work with everybody as one unit.
And you guys have a really tough test Friday that I'm hoping you guys can overcome in Brooks County. We have a little history with the Hammer as well, so wouldn't complain if you guys were able to take care of business and represent the area. But Cam and Iverson, talk about shifting gears from football, which is what you've been working on currently, to basketball. Where did you see yourself at the beginning of last year as opposed to the end of last year, and then coming into this year? How do you feel different as a player this year in basketball?
You have more experience.
Coming in, defense was just the main thing he emphasized. And some of us ain't never been used to just defense. We most of shooting the ball, and that's just been different. And gaining more experience, just trying to play defense and learning more about the game has been very helpful.
That's awesome. And so, Coach, this sounds like a building process, which honestly every year is a building process. No 2 years are the same. But what about last season were you able to take and say, hey, here's some things that we're building on that I know are going to be impactful this season?
Just having all these guys back. I mean, I don't have as many guys that will be dressed out this year, but I'm deeper, if that makes any sense. I was telling them a couple minutes ago, if they don't want to guard people, I'll take them out, and I can put other people back in. other subs back in and not have to worry about who's going into the game, which is kind of a luxury. Lost a lot of close games last year. You know, Telfair by 3. I could keep going on and on and on, but these guys play hard and they're scrappy and they'll get after you. And I knew last year, and I didn't never tell them this, but I knew last year if I could just get them to learn how to compete and guard people and get on the floor for loose balls and do all those little things, that this year and next year we could do something special. So, like I said, I'm excited to see how it comes together.
Now, Cam, I imagine you guys are not getting hit the court a whole lot right now because of football practice, but what are the things that you've been doing across the summer and leading into basketball season so that, you know, Lord willing, when you do make that transition, you're transitioning and not missing a step?
You just got to keep the ball in your hands and, you know, just go out and do camps and do certain little things to help just stay in shape, just to shoot a basketball.
And Iverson, besides having probably the coolest name on today's panel, like I'm talking about everybody, and I mean, I even commented about Allen Iverson. What is the thing that you're trying to do this year differently than you did last year?
Lead better, just hustle harder.
Now, when you talk about 7 and 18, that doesn't sound like that great a season, but I've witnessed with some of our sports, like you say, you're in these 1, 2, 3-point games, and you literally are 1 or 2 plays away. How do you flip that to where those 1 or 2 plays go in your favor this year as opposed to going against you last year?
Finish. Get on the ball for loose ball.
Yeah, that's what really lost us was loose balls. You know, every possession counts, especially, you know, in the first quarter to the fourth quarter. That really counts.
Making free throws.
Oh, yes. Lord help.
I know, because they're free after all.
Yes.
You know, I remember as a kid when I was little not understanding why it was so important to practice those, and then as I started playing more and more rec ball, oh man, those are easy points I could be adding, you know, and we used to put those stats for the rec ball in the local paper, and that was like the biggest thing in the world. You know, if you had a 20, 25-point game, people were talking about you the next day. And some of those were free throws. Like for me as a big guy, getting fouled was my thing. So what are the things that you want to do individually this year on the court that are going to make a difference?
I would like to handle the ball better, shoot better, score more.
I would just like to play more defense. You know, scoring the ball ain't a problem for me, but playing defense is one of my biggest things.
Coach Collins, I know you have to be excited when you hear play defense.
Yeah, I mean, I tell them that, you know, at this level, you've got to be able to guard people. You've got to be able to get stops. You know, we preach, you know, we call them kills. Where, you know, get 3 straight stops. Well, that's a kill. We've got to string together some of those to be successful. And you know, I was brought up. I was coached under Coach Curbo back in the day, and that's the way I was coached. And he was a hard-nosed disciplinarian, military-type guy, and you know that's just who I am, and that's what we emphasize the most.
I told you before we came on earlier today that he was my health teacher at Dublin High School way back in the day, and it was so funny to see him have to shift his energy because he was very vocal and high energy, and then because of some health challenges, he had to redirect that and still be impactful. And you know, he took you guys on a deep run back in the 2000s, which was impressive, and he did that with that new mentality. You know, when you see all these players and coaches have to like reinvent themselves, you know, kind of like Michael Jordan did for his second three-peat. He was a different player than he was the first three-peat. He had to be, and Coach Curbo did that. Talk about his legacy for Bleckley County, and not just through you individually, but you know, to me, he helped brand you guys. He helped make you guys more than you had been in the past. What is that like now?
Yeah, I mean, talent in a small town like Cochran is kind of cyclical, and we've had some ups and downs. And you know, we went to the Elite Eight my sophomore year, and made the playoffs junior year, and then had a little lull, and then 2012 and 13 was state runner-up, lost to GAC, and he's been gone for a little while now, but like I said, I played under him, and one of our assistant coaches also played under him, so it's just in us, and if we can capitalize and make a little run here, I'm sure he'd be proud for us.
You guys actually played in one of the lowest scoring first halves, and it was intentional against West Lawrence. It was like 8-7 at halftime. And it's because nobody could shoot. And I remember specifically watching Coach Curbo say, and he four-cornered you guys for the remainder, because he's like, we got to and then it came back. But that's a vivid memory of mine, and that was a year that Bleckley actually was very successful. Now, Cam, we want you guys to score more than 8 points and a half, and you talked about being a scoring threat. What are you trying to do to your game to make you a more effective scoring threat?
Just handling the ball more and getting in space. Just spotting up and shooting is one of my things. I love to do that, but, I struggle sometimes with getting to the space, getting to that certain spot. But I'm working on it more and more. I'm getting better by the day.
And for both of you, how are you getting yourselves into the right spot for beyond high school? What are the things that you're doing, and what do you plan to do when you leave high school?
I plan to be a lawyer and get a doctorate degree in criminal law.
Please don't do personal injury. We got enough of those commercials. My kids can recite them all. That's how bad they are. What about for you, Iverson?
I like going to the Air Force.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So do you guys have an ROTC program?
We don't. Okay.
Well, need to get one. We've got one here too, and I know some of our county neighbors have one as well. That'd be a great thing. But I'll thank you in advance for your service and wish you all the best of luck. Well, guys, what are some of the things you want to tell your teammates this year to try to challenge them every day to be their best?
Look beyond, what you're doing now, because working hard is, everybody's got to do that. But most of us just get so caught on working hard instead of looking at the bigger picture, looking at what's ahead.
And Coach Collins, I want to give Iverson a chance to close us out, but these two young men represent you well, and it sounds like the team does as well. What does that mean to you, not just as a coach, but as a part of the Bleckley County community, to have these kind of young people out and about showcasing what it means to be a Royal?
Yeah, we've got good kids, and we're not perfect, and we're dealing with some things like everybody, but this is, and last year was good. I didn't have very many discipline problems. We've got a really high character group of young men, and when you're finally able to get those guys to understand that the classroom matters, how they interact with teachers and coaches, and how they treat their parents, and all those things matter. And when you're able to get them to understand that, and they stay out of trouble, and they're not in ISS, and they're doing all those little things, they're on time, they're yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and that's when, and you got to have talent, especially in basketball, I understand that, but when you have the best, when you can combine all those things with the talent, and you have a high character team, and they have integrity, and they hold each other accountable, and they're disciplined, and they're good leaders, and they're good young men and people, I think that's when you can kind of put it all together.
Now, Iverson, what are you going to put all together this year?
Score more. Work on my shooting a lot. Been in the gym a lot lately. Trying to get stronger. Things like that.
Those are all great answers. Your coach is not going to shake his head at any of that. He's just going to agree. That's awesome. We want to thank you guys for coming here to the Media Day today. When we come back, we'll have our East Lawrence Falcons here on the Region 2A Media Day show.
Yo, Malcolm, here in Dublin City Schools, we want to be world-class and global competitive, and I know you've been from about Ulster, where it's really important down there, the athletics, and and you've been a Bulldog.
That's right.
You've been with the Patriots.
That's right.
And we know that the arts are important, the Air Force ROTC and our athletics. But what else do our young people need to do and know to be world class and globally competitive?
That's a great question. And I know a little bit about being a champion on the field. But I learned something else. Being a champion in the classroom matters too. Now, I've had the luxury to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, but the most important thing that I've ever done for myself.
What is that?
Read books.
Awesome. Awesome.
I learned that reading can take you anywhere you want to go. So go out there, play hard on that field, but also play hard in the classroom. And always, go Irish.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Welcome back to the Region 2A Media Day Show. I'm your host, Jason Holcomb, and we've already heard from Coach Collins and the Bleckley County Royals. We're going to slide over to the side just a little bit. We've got Coach Dwayne Lothar and his Falcons basketball team. Coach Lothar, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Like I said before, we're all family in some form or fashion. Just our colors are a little different from time to time. But go ahead and introduce yourself and these young men that we got today.
Well, my name is Coach Dwayne Lothar. I have my players, senior Marion Bivens and sophomore Rashawn Washington Jr.
Fantastic. And talk about last season for the Falcons. How did you guys shake out?
Last season, we went through a lot of growth period, a lot of maturity throughout the season. As the season went on, we got better. We started winning a lot more games. We started to compete and being relatively defensive minded. There were a lot of close games we lost. We were like 9-17 throughout the year. We had probably about half of those 17 games were pretty close. We were able to understand. First of all, you got to be defensively minded. You also got to be mature, but you got to also let God lead you for that respect. Once we put all of our priorities in place, letting God lead us first, then everything else falls in line.
Mario and Rashawn, talk about what he just said and how you soaked that in last year.
Like last year, we were like real young. We really ain't played too much defense. We just really out there playing.
Yeah, it definitely was a learning experience.
I can imagine, and any time that you're not winning, I'm sure you guys have seen success in other areas before. So I imagine not being as successful as you wanted to be. How did that fuel you into this year?
It made me want to be way better than last year.
And so how are you making that a reality? You know, are you hitting the gym more? Are you taking extra shots? Are you coming in early, staying late? Talk about the process that you've been going through as a team to try to get better.
We've been in the gym more.
And after the gym, I go to like the double goals or something, and I still put up shots.
And have you been seeing the fruits of your labor? Are you starting to feel like the shots are falling a little more frequently, or you feel like your body just feels better and different?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, well, Coach Lothar, our second Coach Lothar of the day, dynamic duo. You really don't find one without the other from everything I see, which is a good thing. Need more of that in the world. But talk about the things that you're trying to do as a coach this year that you're starting to see some benefits from on the court.
Also, just trying to get that chemistry together. We started out during the summer. Had a great summer. We played a lot of competition, just being really competitive, being more defensive minded, and letting that exuberate throughout everything else. And I tell my guys, doing the little things. If you do the little things, you don't have big problems. We always trying to instill in them not only to be basketball players, but to just be great young men throughout the community. I think we need a lot of that throughout this community, especially these times and things that are happening throughout society. So, getting them to instill being great young men first, setting your goals, being great examples of other people, and exuberating that, then everything else falls in line. And once you have all of that in place, everything else comes together. And so last year, we didn't have any seniors on the team last year. We pretty much got everybody back. Besides Rashawn Washington Jr. and Marion Bivens, we also have the Sneed brothers, Kanye Sneed, Tyler Sneed, Terez Sneed. and they have matured a lot. The leadership throughout that will be well balanced. We have QTL Dolphins as well, who did a lot of the dirty work for us in getting us where we needed to be. So we're just all about family. We're all about carrying each other and representing one another in a great way, representing our school, our community, just making East Lawrence and East Dublin proud of us as we get through the anticipation of the season that we're about to have.
You actually answered the following two questions that I was going to ask you, so kudos for you for reading my mind. I'm a little scared by that also. Now, Amari and Rayshawn, what are you doing from a leadership perspective? Because you wouldn't be on this panel if you weren't considered leaders. What are you doing to be better leaders this year?
Talking more. Yeah, when my teammate get down, I'll be the one to lift them.
And sometimes you have to be strong with your teammates. You have to be real with them. I mean, obviously, we all have to be real with each other to keep things moving along. But how are you real with them in a way that still keeps the respect there and keeps them energized instead of maybe getting them into feelings or anything like that?
Well, we telling something, try not to bring it down. Like try to tell them in a positive way.
Yeah, the same thing.
Now, beyond high school, there's a whole lot of opportunities waiting for you. What are the opportunities that you're looking to seize on when you leave high school?
And go to college and play basketball and major in sports management.
That's awesome. What about you?
My plan is to go to the Army, but if I get a scholarship, I'm definitely going to take it.
There's no shame in the Army, trust me. Plenty of people have paid lots of bills serving the country, so there would be no shame in that whatsoever. Now, Coach, this region has to feel like a bunch of familiar foes. If you're not in the same region, you're still playing each other because geographically it makes sense.
Yes.
And so there's a ton of rivalries that are here. You know, at any given moment, any one of these you could say is your fiercest rival.
Yes.
How do you keep the kids up consistently? So, you know, because if every game matters and every game's a big game, how do you keep that energy at a level so that you're still getting the outcome that you want?
History. I'm a history teacher. We learn from history, and we want to get better. We want to do better. We want to be better. Looking for that standpoint when we're looking at things and what we went out throughout last year and throughout the season and throughout region. Our goal is exemplary high. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking to build. We're looking to build from the bottom all the way to the top. Me and my assistant coach, Chris Burley, we have that chemistry with one another where there's some days they're going to get good cop, bad cop, and it kind of bounces off each other. Some days I'm bad cop, some days he's good cop. It just depends, but we want to instill that discipline within what we're trying to do and the goals that we're trying to accomplish. Once, like I said, once you set that standard, then everything else starts to fall in place. And we're really excited about what we got coming this year. We've probably got about maybe 3 seniors this year, and we have a lot of sophomores. We've got a lot of sophomores and freshmen, but they are well experienced, well rounded. They've been playing AAU basketball, something that I was just telling my coach the other day. We probably had one of the most talented tryouts we've ever had since I've been coach. In the 5 years that I've been there, and they're invested. They're very invested. They want to do better. They want to be able to reach out and not only inspire themselves, but they inspire others and lift each other up and just make this a total family environment. And we like to be around each other a lot. They love to be in the gym, and you know I try to get the gym as open as often as possible. Because they love to be in the gym. If they could sit in there 10, 12 hours, they would. And that's what I like about it. They are well invested in what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and the goals they're trying to reach.
That's fantastic. Some of my favorite memories in high school was getting to Stubbs Gym at noon and not leaving until 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And then have my mom get on to me because I hadn't eaten supper yet and it was 10 o'clock. And it's like, but I kept getting picked up. If we lost, they still picked me up because I was good enough. So I got to keep playing all night. So,
yes.
You know, that's some of my favorite memories. So what are the memories you guys are hoping to make this year?
I'm trying to go all the way.
I just hope we win more than we did last year. Play together.
That's what I like to hear. And so I want to wish you guys luck on every game that you play this year, obviously, except for who we've got coming up next, because, you know, my shirt gives me away. But want to thank Coach Lothar, want to thank you guys for joining us. And when we come back, we'll have the Fighting Irish here on the Region 2A Media Day show.
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, I'm wood burning a half and half face. One is sad, one is happy. Well, first, you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw. And I mean, I think I had like 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, and then you draw it on the wood, and then you learn how to use the wood burning tools. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, you know, working. It's more fun than, you know, traditional work. My name is...
Welcome back to the Region 2A Media Day show. I'm Jason Holcomb, your host. We're live here at the Dublin High School Auditorium. Want to thank our friends here at Dublin High School for giving us this facility to be able to use to celebrate the entire region. And especially want to thank all of our region teams for making the effort to come today. This is a one-of-a-kind event that we're getting to showcase all of the different teams and give their coaches and players a chance to showcase what's going to be happening in 2022 and 2023. Well, I'm not going to stand here for too long. I'm going to slide out of the way because the people that really we need to hear from next are our Dublin High School boys basketball team. Coach Ben Smith. Coach, if you'll introduce yourself and your players, and we'll get to talking about what you guys are expecting for this year.
Well, I'm Coach Ben Smith. This will be my 4th season serving as head basketball coach at Dublin High School. Right here next to me is Gavin Green. He's our senior point guard, and right next to him is Malik Smith. He's our senior forward.
Gavin, Malik, I'm very excited to have you guys here. Now, Coach, in your 4 years, there's been a lot accomplished. Well, actually, heading into your 4th year. But in those first 3 years, you have accomplished a ton, and you've set a really high bar. What have you guys been doing in the off-season to make sure that bar continues to stay, that the standard doesn't change?
Understanding that we have a standard, and we're big on our process. We, of course, everybody sees results, wants results, but we don't let the results determine our work. We work the same or work more. So like I tell them, if we win a region championship or state championship, that's one day. That's one day out of 365. You know, if we were to win state the next day, I'm gonna still have to wake up, you know, take care of my daughter. If my wife tells me to wash the dishes, I'm gonna have to wash the dishes. You know, and also nothing really changes about you as a person, but your process is what defines you. So our process is 365 days. So those results, those big moments are cool, seem like the best day of your life, but the process is what made those days special.
It's funny you talk about process because the process for the college basketball season just got underway, and your alma mater, I didn't even realize they were playing Duke, kicking off the year, and you're going to face those teams across the year that are going to have a similar high standard. Gavin, what are the things that you feel like you guys have been doing that you'll be able to handle whatever comes on the court?
The situations that we go through in practice, like real game situations, and we just been working. Like I know ain't nobody around here like working like us. I know they're not.
How does that work pay off? When do you see it pay off?
You ask that question again.
When do you see it start paying dividends? When do you see it? Because sometimes it's during practice, you'll see it, hey, this is working. Sometimes it's not till you get into a game situation. When have you seen some of those opportunities already pop up for you?
Oh yeah, of course. Practice, when we do drills, the way we do the drill, like the way Coach Ben tells us to do the drill, and then like when we start playing, like in the practice, like full court, we doing the same thing we're doing in the drill. Like, you can tell we learning and listening.
Now, Coach, you have a variety of drills. There's stuff that I've seen you do that I'm sitting there going, I've never seen that before. When you're crafting a practice strategy and a game prep strategy, just like the stretching and stuff that I see the guys doing, it's different, it feels different. How do you arrange that and organize that so that they're at their peak whenever the ball tips?
Well, we try to, I'm big on this word being intentional. So everything we do is intentional. So I don't like to do stretches that we're not going to perform in a basketball game. So we try to mimic that. And our drills are broken down from game situations. Part of our offense, we might take a third of the actual play and just work on it as a drill for 10 to 12 minutes each day. So once they start, once they're doing the drill over and over and over, just like any of us, we just become, it's second nature. We're humans of habit. So they go there, they're working on jump stop and pivoting. The situation comes in the game where they get cut off, they have to jump stop, their body just does it. It doesn't go into a shot method of, oh, I don't know what to do here. And it's like he said, if you were to, we do show it at practice sometimes, we take the drill, then we go into the game clip. If you were to remove the rest of the people away from the play, it would look just like the drill. So that's kind of how we craft. And it's not just myself or Coach Johnson as well, Coach Flowers in the past. Now we have Coach Flowers, Howard, we get together and kind of led by me, we kind of craft to their specific needs as people, as players, and us as a team.
It's funny because I hear a lot of Kobe Bryant coming out in your talk about like whatever you're doing when you talk about that intentionality, because he was always a pleasure to watch when he had the ball because he was only going to dribble as many times as he felt like he needed. You know, there was no wasted effort. How do you guys see yourselves as far as minimizing wasted effort?
Just like coach comes in and tell us like you said, be intentional. So if we're doing the drill, well, you need to take 2 dribbles to get to a spot. You're gonna take your 2 dribbles. You ain't gonna do extra. You're gonna do what's needed to do to get the job done.
Now, the past 2 years have been really crazy. I don't know since you played in the team with Rashard Smith that we've had consistently that kind of level of competition and also level of what we reached as a team. What is the thing that you feel like you have to do every day so that that mountaintop is another one you're going up and beyond?
Discipline. I feel anybody who's been following us the last 2 years, we're 57-4 the last 2 years, Final Four, Elite Eight, back-to-back region champs, and the 2 games we lost at the end, we lost in the half-court shot, the shot that hit off the top of the glass. So I think it's easier for fans, and it's quite natural. It's not like it isn't the truth. You could say those are lucky shots, they don't go in. But as a coach and as a staff and as players, when we watch the film, we see missed opportunities of up 3 and not blocking out, or we discuss a defense in the timeout and we come out and we don't execute it. And we take pride in being disciplined. And sometimes, those small moments where you're not disciplined, they come back to bite you, and you put yourself in opportunities where you allow, quote unquote, luck to happen. So we're just really tough on this group, as we are with all our groups, but as I'm sure every coach up here can say, or Coach Collins, Coach Lothar, we have to get better at this too. So one thing that I think I've gotten better at is just learning from year to year and pushing this group to be more detailed in the discipline, especially, and gearing practice to be extremely tough at the end. So just like fourth quarters, we might be in wars with Jefferson County, East Lawrence, Bleckley, Swainsboro, or whoever else. You have the way you finish, the way you practice, saying that same being intentional in practice, you'll do it in the game. So that's pretty much the answer to that question.
Now, guys, when he talks about discipline, how are you being disciplined in your roles, not just on the court, but in the rest of your lives? How are you applying that discipline across everything that you do?
You waking up early?
Oh yeah, we wake up early, like 3 times a week. You get in the gym. If you not like driven, like you're not waking up at 5:30 in the morning.
Optional, 5:30.
So basically, just like buying in, like what Coach Ben was trying to instill in us. I feel like as a group, not just me, us two, but like whole team. Lately we've been buying in more.
And talk about how these skills that Coach Ben is pouring into you are helping you in other areas of your life.
Just beyond basketball, just how to be better in life, and like as a man, like for me personally, probably like laziness. Like he always trying to work, have a little laziness. So in life, he tell me like that it's more than laziness. Is more than just in basketball. It spreads in your other parts of your life too. So just working to get the laziness out of you in basketball, and then get presented with a life situation, the laziness won't be there then.
Gavin, you're just shaking your head in agreement, so I'm guessing that you're going to feel the same way.
Yes, sir. He's Coach Ben just tells us like how we do one thing and how we do another.
Yeah, well, you know, basically, I give a little grace because in high school we were all, myself, I'm sure Coach Ben, that work ethic is something people aren't born with. You have to train yourself to want to be great. And once you start understanding that process and how you can commit to it and see what comes back, it's just awesome. And so I imagine you guys are going to start seeing some payback here when we get to the end of November, because it's what, November 26th is your season kickoff. Talk about this year. You guys always seem to find a way to play, whether it's in Christmas tournaments or other almost like travel tournaments. You're really creating an environment where they're playing in a variety of situations to try to prepare them for the year.
Well, that's a lot of credit due to them and the people who come before them. You know, we've been fortunate enough and the schedule didn't allow it, so this year we were able to have it. So it'll be a good exposure event. They'll get to play in front of, like I said, the writing service. And just like we like to schedule a lot of different people. We're playing Washington County this year is a big rivalry, Peach County. So my thought of going in this year with the schedule being much different, going the past 2 years we had 16 region games and now we have 8. So it opened up more room for us to get non-conference, non-region opponents. So we wanted to schedule tough, you know, not saying that we don't want to be 25-0 in the regular season or 24-1 like the last 2 years, but we want to play 6-point games, 8-point games, 3-point games, you know, during the year. I guess it's been a blessing and kind of a curse. We haven't really played many tough games in our region the last 2 years where consistently it was close. I do the county challenge a couple of times. That was a good region. We played a lot of good teams, but we were, you know, the class of the region. So hopefully this year we can learn those experiences during the year and we don't have to wait if we make it deep into, you know, the Final Four, the Elite 8 or Sweet 16 to be in those situations.
Now, guys, beyond basketball, I've asked everybody this, what are the things that you're hoping to take with you from basketball to apply to life? And in your life beyond basketball, what are those things you're looking to do?
Work ethic. It's the work ethic that he's instilling us from basketball. I want to say that, like, and whatever I go off to do, like, just being successful as I can be.
And be the best at whatever I do.
And so have you guys laid out any plans yet on what it is that you want to do? Now, you don't have to have an answer for that, because I didn't at your age, but what are your plans?
Yeah, I plan on graduate a major in electrical engineering at Georgia Tech.
I plan on going on a basketball scholarship, but I plan on going to major in aerospace engineering too.
Wow, a pair of engineers. There's no shame in that at all. That
smart kid.
We're me and Coach Ben might have to come borrow some money from you guys, because you guys are going to be looking good there when you finish school. Engineering is no joke. I can speak. My oldest is an engineering major, so God bless y'all for that. Well, Coach Ben, you've got high character kids. You always seem to have these kids that are just willing to do whatever it takes. And what does that mean to you as a person to know that you've got kids that are here at the school that you know are going to go out in the community and also be well represented?
I mean, I think that's my purpose, our purpose, doing this. And I speak for myself, but I'm sure it's the same throughout. Like, that's our purpose, to raise these young men. You know, our mission statement, you know, our TND mission is to empower them to see past their circumstances, so they know that if they are intentional with their process, as a person, as a player, they can achieve what seems unachievable. And we have that posted in our wall, so that means everything to me. And I think the fact that they'll play so hard for us, it's only natural because they know we'll go so hard for them. It's a give and take relationship. I want them to respect me, I want to respect them. So it's all about give and take, about love. Coach loves to talk a lot about family. I think we all have similar wants for our players, and here at Dublin, you know, we put that on the forefront.
I love it. I love every word of it. Now, guys, before we close out, I skipped a couple people on silly questions, but what time do you get up in the morning?
Like this morning, I got up at like 4:30. Got to the gym around 5:20.
About the same, about 4:15.
Wow, I don't know a lot of high schoolers that are getting up at 4 in the morning and are that committed. I was up that early, but I'm old, and old people, we get up early for silly reasons so that we can watch the news, the same news 3 times before the other news comes on, because that's what old people do, and then watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. So you have that to look forward to in your future. But guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm very excited, obviously. I'm a little biased for Fighting Irish basketball. November 26th when you guys kick off. And when we come back, we'll be joined with Jefferson County here on the Region 2A Media Day show.
My name is Antonio Benjamin. My theme is emotion. And my current project, I'm wood burning a half and half face. One is sad, one is happy. Well, first, you have to draw out, sketch what you want to draw. And I mean, I think I had like 2 tries before I came to this. So you draw it on the paper, and then you draw it on the wood, and then you learn how to use the wood burning tools. Once you do that, you can draw anything you want. I don't see art as, working. It's more fun than, traditional work.
Welcome back to the Region 2A Media Day show. I'm Jason Holcomb, your host, and we've been having just a lot of fun here today. We've had 5 girls programs come through and talk about their season, and we've just finished our Dublin Fighting Irish. We've got 1 more boys program. The Swainsboro Tigers weren't able to make it, but that's fine. We understand. We want to thank all of our teams for taking time out of their day to come. I want to thank the schools for allowing the students to come. We know that there's some instructional time that they're going to be missing, but hopefully you'll be able to make that up in no time whatsoever. But I want to go over here to the side. We've got Coach Kelvin Farmer with the Jefferson County Warriors. Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself and the trio of young men that you brought to the table today.
I'm Coach Farmer. I have 3 seniors, Devin Williams, Tony Neal, and LaKendrick Gillis.
Now talk about last season for the Warriors. What were those things? You talk about your record, but also what did you learn about yourself as a program?
Well, our record was like 8-15, but for the program, we played defense for the most part. It just on the offensive end, we couldn't get the bucket that we needed, and at the time we fall short. One game we scored like 38 points and lost by 2. So 38-40. So this year the goal is get out quicker, score either buckets, or the half-court set. Sometimes we struggle. So the goal to get out quick, either buckets.
Easy buckets.
Yeah, easy buckets.
I love easy buckets. The problem is I miss easy buckets. So I've gotten old. They had us in a little faculty game a couple years ago. In fact, it was me and Coach Ben, maybe an easy pass, and I just missed it all day. I have to own it. It was my miss. I can't say, oh man was coming on my back. No, I just missed it. You talk about that, but talk about what has you excited about this season.
One thing I'm excited about it, we're in the whole new region, and the past 6-7 years, we've been in a pretty tough region. The West Side, Delaney, Josie, and Butler. Pretty tough region. Butler and West Side played for the championship last year, and we played West Side pretty tough, and Butler not so. But it just different region, change. Sometimes change is good.
Now you guys talk about that change. How did you change from last year to this year?
I feel like this year we did a lot of growth. Well, I'll start off last year. Last year, we learned a lot about ourselves as a team. We grow and we use it all as a learning experience. And we started off in the summer. We did a lot of conditioning, training our bodies, getting ourselves right. And these guys I got with me, did my day ones. We be in the gym late night, just putting in a lot of work, getting extra shots, a lot of work in. And I seen both of those guys, get better and develop as players, and I love it just to see them boys get better. That's it.
So it sounds like you guys have really bonded tight. And how is that showing itself from a team standpoint when you're at practice? How are you seeing that all come together?
I see it all come together because I see especially this one right here, I see him become more of a leader, get a lot more vocal and stuff than when I seen him when he was younger. Like, he's taking more of that leader role and try to take a lot of the younger guys under his wing and teach them a lot more and things of that nature.
Now, for the other two guys, what are the things that you've been doing individually to get yourselves better?
Some people, they don't come to practice, so I just give them a tip, try to make them come. In practice, you know, they try to be a leader.
What about for you?
Well, like last year I struggled with hitting shots around the perimeter, so I've been in the gym late nights, taking more shots, taking shots that I'm not comfortable taking to be able to make them, to put the team in the best position they need to be in this year.
Now, Coach Farmer, you talked about being in a new region, but this is not unfamiliar territory. Most of these teams are teams that you've seen in different forms of fashion. How do you shift gears? Because you know these teams are going to be coming after you just as hard as the ones you left. Well, how do you keep, while you talked about shifting from a region that was highly competitive, you're shifting into another region that sounds like it's going to be competitive. How do you keep their mindset in a place where you can be the best Jefferson County team every night?
We don't. We just keep on prep every day, working every day. Put 1 foot forward, get better each day and every day. We don't shift gears. We go hard. I don't care who it is. We play hard. 110 all the time. I don't care who it is. Dominate. The goal is dominate. We practice for a purpose. Practice to win games. We practice to dominate. Don't go to practice going through emotion. No. Go for a purpose, for a reason. We're in for a reason. Put the work in. Don't let the clock. Work in and let's get it. That's it.
You're getting me pumped up now to get out there and get after it. I'm gonna go box out on somebody. Now, guys, you've got a lot of opportunities in front of you, regardless of basketball. But how has basketball positively impacted you as people?
Like, you come to basketball practice every day, you know you gotta come to basketball practice. So when you graduate and go to the real world, you know you gotta get up every morning and go to work, just like you've been going to basketball practice your whole high school career, basically.
I say, well, starting off, I've been playing basketball my whole life, and it kind of, you know, just grew with me, and everybody just know me and like my character and stuff. And I kind of just been known as a basketball player, but it helped me a lot because, like, one of the guys from Dublin said he was like work ethic and laziness. That's something that I struggle with a lot. I don't have it down now, but it's getting better and stuff like that. Basketball made me a harder worker, you know, put in more work and things like that, so it helped me out.
I say playing basketball keep me out of trouble, and you know, coach he put us to work hard, so I just know I got to work hard mindset. So.
Coach Farmer, this has to hit you good when you hear them talking the same things that you've been preaching. And what does it mean to you when you see those same character qualities coming out off the court, when you see them in the classroom or see them in the community? What does that mean to you?
A whole lot. I mean, I'm just not saying something. Just taking everything in, holding to it, go out in the classroom, live up to it. Cause I don't care who you are, I don't care where you at, you're gonna show up in the classroom, football field, court, no matter where you at, you're gonna show up. So therefore, saying things over and over again, preaching, they get it, and therefore to go out and go in the classroom and do very well. The key word is just work. Right.
What's your favorite subject?
Social studies.
Those are all good subjects. Mine was an old person one. I liked history when I was coming along. Everybody says, why do you like history? I'm like, I don't know. I like learning about it, learn where you came from to set up where you want to go, you know. And I think that's some of what you guys have talked about, is you're looking back at what you've accomplished to set you up to see what you need to do to get better. Now, what's the number one thing that each of you has to do to get better this year?
Can I get more than one thing?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. For me personally, scoring the basketball never really been a problem. It's more so like, I would say being a leader, getting my teammates more involved, you know, just like and on the defensive end, those places that I want to be better at as a player.
And like for me, it's like hitting open shots and facilitating the ball more better. And talking to my team, communication is the key part. Biggest part is communication.
I would say shooting, hitting open shot when we left open, and we on slow talking on defense.
Now, Coach, what's your pregame routine? Is there a particular, some people have a particular meal that they have to eat just to keep their mind right. I hear Coach Saban all the time. He eats these weird, meal choices where it's like 2 Little Debbie cakes or oatmeal pies, and that's his lunch. Is there any weird thing that you do as far as your routine, as far as I'm going to eat this, I'm going to do this?
No routine at all. No, do a little pregame meal, but no particular routine.
And what about you guys? Do you guys have any little superstitions that you live through?
Try not to eat too heavy. That's the only thing. Try not to eat too heavy.
Same. Try not to eat too much for the game. Mess up the stomach.
That's a bad feeling. Now, what's your favorite part of basketball season?
My favorite part is just, that feeling, just being out there, see all the faces that you love in the crowd, going out there, competing, playing hard. It's no better feeling than being on the court.
I say the fans and the love this year.
Same as you guys did.
And Coach, before we close out, what's the number one thing that you want these guys to take away from their time with you? And I'm talking beyond just coaching basketball and teaching them to make layups and play defense. What's the one thing you want them taking away from their time with you?
Just to go out and be good husband, good fathers, and be very productive. And in order to do that, you gotta make good choices, and your choices have consequences. And you gotta choose to be great. I don't care what it is. I don't care if they can ditch, washing the car. I don't care what it is. Be great in what you do. Be great at it. That's it.
That's fantastic, and I think that's where we're going to close things out. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you tuned in for a portion of the program or if you tuned in for the entire program, thank you guys so much. Be sure to like and comment, especially for your school. Show some love, because these young men and women are going to be doing some fantastic things on the basketball court, and based on what they told me, they're going to be doing even better things when they head out into the real world. Be sure to tune in anytime that we hit the live button, because we want you guys seeing what all the great things are happening here at Dublin City Schools and everywhere. I'm Jason Holcomb, your host, and this has been Region 2A Media Day right here by Dublin City Schools.